Welcome back to another edition of Babyface Beer Review. My name is Alex. I'll be walking you guys and gals through this beer review for the next few moments here today. Very special beer. We always got special beer here on Babyface Beer Review, but this one very close and dear to my heart, as you can tell just by the display that we got going on. This is from Lagunitas Brewing Company, Petaluma, California, Chicago, Illinois. This is their High West-IFIED Imperial Coffee Stout, which is aged in Rye West whiskey barrels, which is what you see here on display today. I'm a huge High West fan as well, as you also know. For those you don't know, I'm a big Lagunitas fan as well. But High West is my go-to sipping whiskey. They just have some really awesome blending that they do. They actually don't distill their own whiskey. They buy it from Barton and LDI, which is out in southern Indiana on the coast, or on the border of the Ohio River there, outside of Cincinnati. But that's a story for another day. But David Perkins, the founder there, does some awesome stuff with the blending. They actually got bought out by Constellation Brands, who owns Ballast Point Brewing Company, a couple years ago. And obviously you guys know about Lagunitas. If you don't know, 100% owned by Heineken now, so we do have some big conglomerate spirits and beer here. But regardless, they're still making kick-ass stuff at a very reasonable price point, so we're going to enjoy it like we always do. But we're going to dive right into this. This is a 2017 one-hitter series High West-IFIED Imperial Coffee Stout. Like I said, this is really weird release because right now it is September 5th, and this came out last year in 2016 during December, the January-December winter holiday period. And right now, like, we're in the dog days of summer, just at the end of it, and we're releasing bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Coffee Stouts, which is weird to me, but at the same time, I went and bought a case of it for right around, $50 or so, which you cannot beat. $11.99 for a six-pack. That is an outstanding value. Really fresh as well, bottled on the 230th day of the year on the Julian, with the Julian code here on the neck, as you can see on Lagunitas Beers. So we're about a couple weeks old here. But you know, when you have a Imperial barrel-aged stout like this, you can let that sit up to a couple years, and it's still good to drink as it develops flavors. This is a little different from last year's variety offering. 12.4% this year. Last year was 12.2%. I don't have an IBU content for you guys. The website is a little outdated. This still says a one-hitter series is being released in December and January, so I don't really know what's going on there. But regardless of that, let's crack the cap on, get a smell and a taste and a feel on the High West-IFIED Imperial Coffee Stout. In regards to accolades on this bad boy, it clocks from what we have on Untappd, or Untappd is giving it 4.26 caps out of 42,000 ratings, so pretty solid there. The folks at Beer Advocate give it a 97, which puts it in that that world-class category, excuse me. So some really, really good stuff. You guys should already know by this beer. Just some really good accolades and ratings. It's a super hot day, by the way. This thing is sweating, so I got to get it into the glass before it warms too much up. Yeah, super opaque, black color, heavy viscosity, as we could probably tell there. You know, in regards to the thickness, I'm sure we'll feel that, but just really, really dark. No light getting through it at all. Nice head. A little bit of an aggressive pour in regards to, you know, the grade and steepness that I poured it at, but about a finger worth of head, very tightly compact, kind of like khaki, brown, almond colored bubbles on here. If I swirl it around, let's see if we get any glass lacing or alcohol legs. Yes, I can see some alcohol legs there already forming. Really nice. Some sticky glass lacing from Lagunitas. Always do a good job. Obviously going to be low in carbonation for this beer style, but we can't see any bubbles streaming up because of how opaque it is. So let's get into aroma and a smell on this bad boy. Oh yeah. Wow. Big, like Baker's, like cocoa, dark chocolate. I get a nice, like, vanilla, like toasted, like charred caramel sweetness, a little bit of almond. Definitely get the barrel, that rye pepperiness that you've known from these rye whiskey blends from High West. Char from the barrel, some oak, some wood, some booze. That dark roasted malts coming through, also getting some espresso bean notes as well, some real, like, bitter espresso notes. Yeah, really nice stuff. Yeah, I mean, for me, that really sticks out is that that char, the roastedness, that dark like cocoa, chocolate, and then you get that espresso like bitterness. You can smell it. I know bitterness is a taste, but you could just smell it coming, just permeating right out of the glass. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, my mouth's watering. Let's dive in. Cheers, prost, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is the Imperial, the High West-IFIED Imperial Coffee Stout from Lagunitas Brewing Company, Petaluma, California, Chicago, Illinois. Wow. This is smooth. This is smoother than I remember. It's definitely a sipper, so don't go in like 4 or 5 sips right away, but my goodness, that's big roasted malt, that baker's chocolate, that cooking dark chocolate that I was telling you about, and the smell is really prominent. That roasted malt's cutting through. Then I kind of get into some of this like seared like toffee, almost like this caramel nice sweetness. Then as we transition from like the middle of the mouth, you really start to get that vanilla from the barrel. That rye pepperiness is coming out as well. And then you get more espresso, coffee, kind of like that... oh gosh, some of like Starbucks beans, like a French roast, they really burn those beans. You're getting a little bit of that, and then back end on the way back you get more of that bitterness and pepperiness coming through from the rye spiciness. It's like this rye, like peppercorn, like pepperiness that I'm picking up there big time. It's really nice and it's interesting. It's rounded out beautifully, and then there's a touch of warming on the back end. But for 12.4%, it definitely drinks less than that. I would say it's around like a high 9% beer. So Lagunitas is doing a phenomenal job, like always, masking the alcohol content in there. As for a feel, you can already tell. I'm going to say this is a nice, full body, really creamy, slick. The viscosity is excellent on this beer. Not sludgy in a sense like a Bourbon County stout, but really nice in terms of the texture and the feel. Very silky, very drinkable. It doesn't overwhelm the palate with that high octane viscosity. Carbonation is very low to moderate for the beer, obviously, given the style, but very drinkable in regards to an Imperial coffee stout. So, a barrel-aged Imperial coffee stout. So, from me, not trying to be biased, but this beer I've had many times before. I picked up a case, like I said, it's getting a 98 from me. This is for the value, for the availability, when you factor all that in and then the quality of the beer, it really doesn't get much better if you look at that on a spectrum. So 98 for me, but that's not what matters. What matters what you guys and gals think, so let me know by leaving that all in the comment section below. I appreciate each and every one of you. I say it every single time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go back and forth on the jargon and the dialogue here on the High West-IFIED Imperial Coffee Stout. Which beer would you like me to review next? I'd love to hear your recommendations. And until next time, cheers, prost. Thank you so much for stopping by Babyface Brew Review.